Every creature is wary of the invisible hunter's footsteps. A silent one creeps through the darkness, eyes piercing all camouflage. When the claws touch the ground, the whole forest holds its breath. The hunt has begun, and there will be no second chances. The silent Amazon, the jaguar, the jungle nightmare. The Amazon. The place known as the green lungs of the earth. But hidden behind that enchanting green is not peace. But a harsh world where survival is the only law. On the towering trees, rare light filters down to the damp ground. In this jungle, there are no weaklings. Only those wise and brave enough to survive. Every leaf, every dewdrop, every step carries a story of fighting, stalking, and survival. And in the middle of that deep forest maze, a graceful black shadow is stepping out of the morning mist. The jaguar. Predator, it is a symbol of darkness, of patience and deadly power. A humid morning. Drops of water fall from the towering forest canopy. The jaguar, an adult, the only big cat of the Americas. It is also the absolute ruler of the forest. Its body is not tall, but it is muscular. The jaguar is about 1.5 to nearly 2 meters long, weighs from 60 to 100 kgs, with large males able to exceed 120 kgs. Its fur is a shiny golden brown, covered with black rosettes that help it hide perfectly among the foliage and the dappled light of the rainforest. Unlike its Asian or African relatives, the jaguar possesses a fearsome jaw, the strongest bite of all big cats. It is strong enough to crush a turtle's shell, penetrate the skull. An opportunistic predator, the jaguar feeds on a wide variety of prey, from peccaries, small antelopes, turtles, Caiman crocodiles to monkeys, large birds, and even anteaters. Hidden among the dense undergrowth of the Amazon rainforest, the peccary is a rustic-looking but sturdy creature. Peccaries are stocky wild boars, about 1 meter long, covered in grey-brown fur with a pale streak around the neck like a natural necklace. Their long snouts are used for sniffing, and their small eyes are always alert to danger. They do not live alone, but gather in herds of dozens to hundreds, moving closely as a unified entity. Their diverse diet, from fallen fruits, tree roots, insects to even animal carcasses, helps them adapt well to the humid forest. However, even solidarity is not enough to completely protect them from predators lurking in the dark. In the dense, dark corners of the forest, there is always a pair of eyes watching. More silent and patient than anything else. The peccary trooped along, unaware. The absolute silence was pressing like a bowstring about to be released. In the middle of the dense forest carpet, the jaguar lay close to the ground. Its golden fur was dotted with black spots that blended perfectly. Only its eyes were bright, steady, and extremely alert. A peccary strayed from the center. The jaguar did not blink. Its pupils contracted into two straight lines, locking onto its target. All it took was one sign, one misstep, one mistimed turn, and then the opportunity came. Suddenly, the jaguar shot forward like an arrow. The chase ended in a terrifying silence. Only the sound of cicadas and the smell of blood mingled in the humid air. The jaguar, with deep breathing and expressionless eyes, began to tear at the thick hide of the wild boar. There was no joy. No victory. Just an inevitable part of the survival chain in the Amazon jungle. The dry season is the mating season of the jaguar. In the quiet world of the Amazon, where every breath of wind through the canopy becomes a signal, discrete movements begin to appear. There are no fierce fights like those of lions, nor any challenging roars like those of the Bengal tiger. Everything happens quietly, but no less tense. Female jaguars send out signals with a distinctive pheromone scent, secreted from scent glands near their genitals, signaling the beginning of the estrus period. Males, with their superior sense of smell, will follow that trail through many kilometers of dense forest. When two individuals meet, a tense dance begins. They sniff, growl softly, and sometimes play around, half friendly, half challenging. Mating occurs many times a day, many times. After the process is completed, the female jaguar will leave alone to nurture the new life. The gestation period lasts from 90 to 105 days. Each litter, the female jaguar usually gives birth to 1 to 4 cubs. She chooses very secluded places to give birth and protects her cubs from other predators. The cubs are born blind, weak, and completely dependent on their mother in the beginning. From the 6th month, the first lessons in hunting begin. The mother jaguar takes her cubs to hunting areas and lets them observe from a distance. Like the way it hunts, the jaguar's way of maintaining its species also reflects the immutable principles of nature: patience, silence, and calculation. In the heart of the Amazon, where life and death always go hand in hand, each adult individual is the crystallization of instinct, will, and the cruel choices of the jungle. Amidst the ferocity of the jungle, where every breath could be a sign of a predator, there are creatures that do not need overwhelming speed or strength. They survive thanks to their stealth, flexibility, and fortitude honed over time. In a low grassland in the middle of the Amazon, dust suddenly rose as lightly as smoke. A long grey shadow was silently crossing the edge of the forest. Not fast, not hurried, but each step carried a deep caution. It was the giant anteater. A creature so strange that it seemed to have come from prehistoric times. With its silver ash fur, its long tail like a giant broom, and its long, narrow snout, it was unlike any other animal in this forest. Its eyesight was poor, its ears were small, but its 60-fathom long tongue was the perfect weapon to penetrate termite nests deep underground. Every day it could consume tens of thousands of ants and termites, the only food on the menu of this unique creature. Although it does not eat meat, the anteater is not helpless. On the contrary, its front legs with sharp claws nearly 10 centimeters long can tear apart tree trunks or seriously injure its enemies. Therefore, although it seems slow, it is one of the few animals that even the jaguar, the #1 predator in the Amazon, must be wary of. The jaguar recognized the presence of the stranger from afar. Its yellow eyes penetrated the thin layer of dust, watching every move of the strange prey. Space seemed to stop, suffocating. At the moment when the sound of dry leaves rustled under the predator's feet, the anteater stopped. Its small eyes moved quickly. Its nose rose, smelling something wrong. It was no longer the sound of insects, but the breath approaching, hot from behind. In a split second, both rushed forward. Neither retreated. It opened a suffocating confrontation between the instinct of hunting and the instinct of survival. The two creatures looked at each other, not a sound. Finally, the jaguar chose to retreat. It was not hungry enough to risk its life. Today's hunt ended without bloodshed. The jaguar slowly retreated into the forest, its shadow gradually fading under the thick canopy. The anteater remained standing in the same place, its chest heaving. It had won, not by strength, but by not giving in. Life in the Amazon jungle is not just a relentless chase. It is a struggle where the line between hunter and survivor is drawn with each breath. Capuchin monkeys. The most agile artists of the Amazon rainforest are small primates, but possess outstanding intelligence and dexterity. With a body length of about 30 to 55 centimeters, a tail almost as long as its body helps them maintain balance when moving through the dense canopy. Their golden brown or ash-grey fur and bright expressive faces always make them stand out in the jungle. Capuchins are known for their ability to use tools ranging from stones to crack nuts to sticks to knock on wood to repel insects. They have good memories, know how to share food, and cooperate when hunting small prey, such as lizards, baby birds, eggs, or insects. During the dry season, capuchins also know how to seek out palm trees to take advantage of ripe fruits and the water inside, demonstrating an amazing ability to survive. Although small, the capuchin herd acts like a miniature society. They take turns keeping watch, signaling when predators appear. And when necessary, they will fight together, throwing objects and screaming to ward off danger. Smart, agile, and full of survival instincts, capuchins are a testament to intelligent evolution in the fierce Amazon jungle. Hiding under rotting leaves or clinging to damp tree trunks, the poison dart frog is living proof that beauty can sometimes be a deadly warning. They possess a brilliant skin. It is turquoise, lemon yellow, fiery orange or bright red, not to attract a mate, but to warn enemies to stay away. Underneath that colorful skin is a powerful alkaloid toxin, enough to paralyze a small predator in just seconds. However, this deadly poison is not self-generated. Scientists have discovered that dart frogs absorb toxins from a diet rich in ants, beetles, and other poisonous insects. When raised in artificial conditions, they gradually lose their toxicity and become harmless. This shows the close connection between the habitat and the species' defense mechanism. Not only relying on toxins, dart frogs are also masters of survival. They move quickly and adapt to many different habitats, from the ground, tree trunks, to damp root holes. During the breeding season, males make loud calls in the forest to attract mates. Eggs are laid in cool, moist places. Then the father or mother takes turns carrying each tadpole on their back, bringing them to small pools of water in tree trunks or insect nests to ensure safety for development. In the wild world of the Amazon, where every creature has its own way of survival, dart frogs do not need strength or speed. They survive with warning colors and toxic skin, becoming living proof of the sophistication and magic of evolution. Not only are there colorful creatures or land predators, under the murky waters of the Amazon there is another world, where darkness is an ally and silence is a weapon. There, the black caiman quietly bides its time, like a ghost of the prehistoric era. The black caiman is the largest reptile in the Amazon, possessing a giant body that can be up to 5 meters long and weigh more than 300 kg. Its thick, armor-like skin is covered with shiny black scales, helping it to camouflage perfectly in the murky water and the darkness of the jungle. Its cold yellow eyes, located on top of its head, help it observe without surfacing. Its wide jaws contain dozens of razor-sharp teeth, combined with a powerful bite force that is enough to crush large animal bones and turtle shells in a split second. Caimans are patient creatures, able to remain motionless for hours, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Although they are at the top of the aquatic food chain, they are not without enemies. On land, the jaguar is the only formidable opponent capable of killing an adult crocodile. In the thin mist that covers the Amazon swamp, the slightest noise can be a sign of life or death. The jaguar hides behind a dense bush, its eyes fixed on a dark figure drifting silently near the shore. A caiman is sunning itself after a night of rain. Without a sound, every muscle on the jaguar's body tenses, lowering itself close to the ground. The jaguar presses its body against the wet ground, its mottled fur seemingly melting into the streaks of light that streak across the forest canopy. It does not move. Only its ears twitch slightly, catching the slightest sound. Its eyes do not leave its target. Every movement is slow, almost motionless. It circled down the wind, avoiding the scent of its body. Its claws retracted to keep quiet. Underground, its muscles tightened, tensed like a bow drawn to its maximum. It calculated the distance, estimating the ideal moment when the Caiman would turn its head away. A mistake would result in the predator becoming the victim. But the Jaguar made no mistake. Space seemed to stop. No roar, no warning. Suddenly the Jaguar dived straight into the water. The first bite aimed straight at the skull, the fatal blow the Jaguar had perfected over hundreds of underwater hunts. The Jaguar dragged the Caiman's body to the shore. No hurry, no pride. Just a survivor who had just completed a familiar survival ritual in the Amazon jungle. Blood and mud mixed together, leaving a faint trace on the water's edge. Silent evidence of a battle that had ended. Under the dense canopy of the Amazon, where life and death go hand in hand with every breath, there is no room for negligence or mercy. Every creature, from the smallest prey to the apex predator, is a link in the cruel but perfect cycle of nature. The Jaguar is not a king, nor is it invincible. It is simply a survivor, wise, silent, and tenacious. Like the very soul of this forest. And the Amazon, with all its mystery, harshness, and deadly beauty, continues to weave a never-ending story of survival, where every fight counts and every life has a unique value. If you are fascinated by the fierce but majestic journey of the wild world, please follow the channel and share the video. To continue to explore with us more untold stories about life, death, and the eternal instinct in nature. And don't forget, the fight for survival, still not over. The Black Panther, the ghost of the jungle Kabini. The jungle of India. Dawn had just touched the foliage, where the morning mist still hung like the cold breath of the night that had not yet completely dissipated. In the deepest part of the forest, where the light stopped at the edge of darkness, there was a silence that was completely separate. A space not for bustling life, but for something more ancient, more silent, more terrifying. It did not roar. It did not leap from the bushes like ordinary predators. It was silent, as if the night itself had taken shape. Its black fur was shiny, as if it were covered with the shadow of the night itself. It was no ordinary leopard. It was the black leopard, one that did not need to be seen to make the forest hold its breath. They called it Kala, which means darkness in Hindi. A name that was not only physical, but also spiritual. Because Kala did not just walk in the night. It belonged to the night. It lived, hunted, and disappeared as if it had never been. No one heard it coming. No one knew when it would leave. But when its eyes looked at you, you knew you were being watched. For in the Kabini jungle, it is not the biggest who is most feared. Night fell on Kabini. The last light of the sun faded behind the trees, giving way to a thick darkness that enveloped every inch of the forest. For most creatures, this was the time to seek safety, to hide from invisible threats. But for Kala, night was when life truly began. Without warning, without fanfare, Kala left his hiding place with surprising calm. His body glided through the bushes like smoke, making no sound. Each step was precisely calculated, avoiding the brittle branches, the rustling layers of rotten leaves. In this lightless world, any small sound could mean a missed meal. The wind shifted gently, carrying a familiar scent. A small deer stood alone at the base of a tree, head down, grazing. Little did he know that he was in the sights of one of the most silent killers on the planet. Black panthers are typical ambush hunters. They don't chase their prey long distances like wild dogs, nor do they overwhelm them with power like tigers. They rely on patience, camouflage, and perfect timing. Carla crouched low, her black fur making her almost disappear into the darkness. Her eyes were wide open, her ears swiveled, her entire body as tense as a bowstring being drawn. Every inch of her approach to her prey was a moment of breathtaking tension. And then, when the distance was less than 10 meters, Carla sprang up. His movements were so fast that the naked eye could hardly follow. A leap, a snap of the neck, and the deer fell silently. No screams, no struggles. Just a clean, precise end, like every hunt Carla had ever made. With strong teeth and powerful jaw muscles, Carla easily dragged the prey up to a high tree branch, avoiding predators like hyenas, wild dogs, and even other leopards. Up high in the absolute silence of the night forest, he began his feast, alone, as he had lived since the first day. Strength, speed, and composure. These were the three elements that made a perfect predator. But it was the silence, the eternal darkness he carried, that made Carla a living legend in the heart of the Kabini forest. In the world of big cats, solitude is not a choice. It is an instinct. Carla lives alone like most leopards. There is no pack, no allies, no one to share food or watch over. Every step in the Kabini forest is a solitary journey, where each day is a silent battle for space, food, and survival. Carla's territory stretches across mossy hillsides, through open forest and into shallow rivers that only appear during the dry season. But in the wild, no territory exists without being marked. Carla marks his tracks by clawing at tree trunks, rubbing his cheek against a rock, or leaving a distinctive urine trail, the silent language of the leopard, but clear to any intruder. These signs are not only to assert control, but also to avoid unnecessary conflict. In the forest, any wound can be a death sentence. And for Carla, wisdom is as important as strength. During the day, Carla is rarely seen. With his jet black fur, sunlight is no ally. He spends most of his time lying motionless on a high branch, where the dense foliage shields him from the prying eyes of both enemies and humans. In that space there is only steady breathing and the occasional turn of his ears to a distant sound. Everything slows down. The forest sleeps and Kala waits. But when the light fades and darkness falls, Kala is transformed. No longer a silent sleeper, he becomes a living entity of the night. His ears stretch, his eyes glow, his muscles tighten. That is when the world changes roles. The hunter awakens and other creatures, small and large, are forced to be on guard. Like the moon, Kala is a part of the Kabini forest that humans only see in passing, sometimes just a glance from the shadows, or a faint footprint in the damp morning soil. But with each movement in the night, he continues to write a story that the forest silently remembers. In the Kabini forest, every creature has its enemies. Even an apex predator like Kala is not exempt. Other shadows lurk at the edges of his territory. A moment of vulnerability, a sign of weakness, and everything can change hands. It is a heavy afternoon. The air smells of damp earth and rotting leaves after rain. Kala moves silently along the edge of his territory. His eyes stop, a strange urine trail never seen before. The wind carries a different scent. Another male has entered his territory. No roar, no chase. In the world of leopards, every confrontation begins with silence. When Kala catches sight of the intruder, their eyes lock, tense, alert, every muscle taut like a string. It is not a noisy fight. It is a strategic dance, where every step has meaning. The two leopards circle each other, never taking their eyes off each other, never attacking. In the world of big cats, a fight only breaks out when there is no other choice. Any wound can become a death sentence. So the smartest ones know when to back off. Finally, the strange male retreats. Not a wound, not a roar. Just one last glance before he disappears into the trees. Kala stands still for a long time, his ears still trained on the retreating shadow. Then he slowly turns around, marking a nearby tree, leaving no threat, just a reminder that this place is owned. Conflict in the Kabini forest does not always require claws. Sometimes a fight is decided by calmness and courage. For Kala, each successful defense of her territory is a silent affirmation that she is still in control of her world. A world shaped not by absolute power, but by the invisible presence of darkness. The dry season is approaching. The wind carries the scent of burnt grass and cracked earth. The Kabini forest is shifting, and like every living thing in this land, Kala senses a change in the air. A signal that is vague but clear, an unspoken call coming from the depths of her instincts. On the wind, there is the scent of a female in heat. The scent is faint, almost imperceptible to humans, but to Kala, it is a whisper. Quietly, she tracks, cautious and patient. No rush, no impatience, only absolute focus, as when she hunts. Soon it came upon her. A mature female, strong, alert. The first encounter was not a greeting, but a scrutinizing gaze. The two stood a few meters apart, silent. No roars, no violent actions, only very small gestures, a bow, a slight step, a short hiss. And then, as if they had known each other for a long time, they approached. The black panther is a solitary animal for most of its life. But for a few short days during the breeding season, two strangers will accept each other's presence. The head rubs, the body rubs, the soft growls, all an instinctive dance programmed by millions of years of evolution. They did not speak. They did not need words. Only the rhythm of their breathing mingled in the deep forest, and the moments that temporarily blurred the boundaries of solitude. After a few days, when the time was up, the female left. Alone, like all other female leopards, she would begin her journey of motherhood, finding safety, giving birth, and raising the next generation in silence and danger. Kala, as if never connected, quietly returned to the darkness. She did not wait. She did not hold on. Her instincts had done their job. But somewhere in the Kabini forest, a new life was taking shape. Future black spots might have the same fur as hers and the same bright eyes. The legacy did not need to be named. It was passed on through blood, through instinct, and through darkness. A large, stocky figure emerged from the shadows, moving almost silently. Its orange fur glowed as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the foliage. The black stripes on its body were like carvings on a living statue. Each step was an affirmation. Each look was a wordless declaration. The Bengal tiger is the largest living tiger on Earth. An adult can weigh up to 220 kilograms and be over 3 meters long. But its true power comes not from its muscle or size. It comes from the way it uses silence, from the way it commands the forest without roaring. just by being there. Every day, the Bengal tiger roams through the open forests, across shallow rivers, leaving behind footprints in the mud. Each trace is a story, a warning to every other creature that shares this land. The forest cannot accommodate everyone, and he knows it better than anyone. A mature male Bengal tiger is not born with territory. He has to earn it. There are no maps, no pre-drawn boundaries, just his scent, his scratch marks, and his presence amidst the myriad of challenges that await him. And for this lone hunter, the journey begins where the jungle is least marked. A mature tiger is perfectly proportioned. Big calves, broad shoulders, a powerful yet velvety stride. But that appearance is not enough to claim a territory. In the world of tigers, each territory is an invisible battlefield. Whoever gets there first leaves a scent. Whoever comes after chooses to avoid or challenge. He moves all night. Silently, silently, but every step has a purpose. The trees he passes through are scratched by his sharp claws, leaving straight, deep, shoulder-level slashes, a way to mark, a way to say we've been there. The tall grass is watered by the scent of the scent glands under the belly and tail. To humans, it's all invisible, but to its kind, it's a clear and unmistakable signal system. Late one afternoon, when the air carried the scent of a damp forest after a light rain, it caught sight of an unseen trail of urine. Another was in the area. They stood no more than 10 meters apart. No roars, no lunges, just looks. Tense and persistent as a bowstring being pulled taut. Every movement was small. Every decision was vital. Territories aren't always decided by force. Sometimes one backs down, and sometimes blood must be shed to mark a piece of land. But this time, after a silent tug of war, the latter was accepted. Only temporarily. As the light faded through the forest canopy, the tiger began its night journey. The deer, the wild boar, and the water buffalo became more cautious. They learned to read the forest. Every bird stop, every change in the wind, every shift in the grass was a signal. But the tiger knew, and it learned to survive not by being the strongest, but by being the smartest. The Bengal tiger does not chase. It does not force its prey to reveal itself. Instead, it chooses to observe, eyes wide open in the darkness, ears swiveling to the slightest rustle of leaves. It waits patiently, hours. Sometimes all night, not a sound, not a sharp breath. When it has chosen its target, there is no hesitation. Everything is activated in seconds. Calves tighten. Claws snap. It approaches, each step making no noise. Only a few meters away. And then, when the moment comes, the whole body shoots up like a sharp blade. The movement is so fast that it is impossible to see the whole thing. A snap of the neck. A tight grip of the teeth, a neat end, not brutal, but absolute. Each time it succeeds, the tiger drags the prey's body into a hidden place, under a tree or behind a large rock. It eats in silence, head lowered, ears still listening. Because the forest is never completely peaceful. At any moment, a hyena, a leopard, or even another tiger could smell a prize and come for it. An adult tiger needs only a few meals a week. But to get them, it must spend hundreds of hours hunting, dozens of failed attempts. Not every night is filled with the sound of claws digging into flesh. But every night is a dance of patience and perfection. The power of the Bengal tiger lies not in its roar, but in its ability to disappear, to wait, and to end everything in a single breath. In the seemingly silent forest of Kabini, the Bengal tiger is not the only predator. It is at the top of the food chain, but it is not the only one fighting to maintain its position. Its life is not just about hunting. It is also a constant confrontation with other predators that share the same territory. Each time it kills, the tiger does not eat it right away. It lifts its head, listening, for the sound of life is also an invitation to predators. A hyena can smell it from miles away. A pack of wild dogs can arrive in minutes. They are not alone, they are a pack. They are tactical, they are pressure. Sometimes the tiger chooses to fight. When it is hungry, when the reward is worth it. The steel-sharp pounces, the roars that tear the darkness apart, but it does not always win. A broken claw, A kick from a buffalo. A bite from an opponent. Every mistake leaves a scar. And in nature, scars are a reminder that there is no room for arrogance. The Kabini forest fades into the late afternoon light. The light retreats behind the trees. The red sun seems to be pulled down by the heaviness of the earth. The leaves fall soundlessly. The bird song has thinned out. The wind slows as if tired after a long day. In the deepest part of the forest, a figure stands. Not moving. Not hunting. Just look into the distance. It is a male Bengal tiger that has walked through many dry seasons, left footprints on the dry banks of streams, roared loudly to shake the air, won its territory with blood and silence. Now it no longer hunts like before. The scars on its shoulders speak for the battles. Its steps are slower. Its breathing is heavier. But its eyes are unchanged. Still the eyes of someone who has seen too much, lost too much, but never ceased to exist.